What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul, and today we are going to be doing the highly requested updated video for who makes the best blank hoodie. This is an update from a video that I did about a year ago, which you guys seem to have enjoyed. But you guys did mention that I did leave out a few different hoodies, possible candidates for what could be the best blank hoodie, and that just won't be tolerated. I've got 20 brand new hoodies to feature in today's video, and for the purposes of keeping things very clean and organized, I came up with a scoring or ranking system that will be built upon on 4 different metrics. The criteria does include quality, fit, price, and of course aesthetic. Out of a possible score of 5, I will be taking the average of all of these metrics put together to end up with a final score for that respective hoodie. Now, for the purposes of keeping things fair and balanced, I did elect to go ahead and abdicate featuring LWH clothing in today's ranking system, simply due to the fact that, of course, because it is my company, there will be naturally some implicit bias. So what I will say about the Perfect Zip Up jacket is that it is comprised of amazing quality French terry, 550 GSM, features high quality hardware, all at a price point that is insane value. As we work our way through all of these hoodies today, I think that is going to be emphasized. Last thing, the pants that I am wearing through this whole video is the Locust&WildHoney G04 denim, the new baggy relaxed fit denim. But with that to say, let's go ahead and jump right into the first garment. This one actually comes from Skims. In terms of quality, you've got a 100% French terry cotton that is pretty nice quality and features a dense weave. It is lightweight, but don't be deceived, GSM does not always equal quality. This is a solidly produced hoodie, and for that reason, I give it a score of 4 out of 5 in terms of quality. As for sizing, I did elect to go with a size medium, and despite the claims of it fitting very roomy and relaxed, I don't find this to be the case. Not a big fan of how this one fits, yielding a score of 2.25 out of 5. In terms of aesthetic, this one does come in a few different color options, which does help its score, but because it fits kind of weird and you have these giant strings coming out the front, I can't give this one a better score than 2.25 out of 5. From the lens of value, though, this one is pretty solid quality. This hoodie leaves me a lot to be desired. Much of the time, I will probably elect to go past this one and look at pretty much any other hoodie in my personal wardrobe, and at that price point of $88, I can't really justify it. So the value score for this hoodie is a 2 out of a possible 5. Taking the average score of all of the metrics, you land on 2.625s for the Skims hoodie. This hoodie is for somebody who wants something that they can lounge around in. It is very solid quality. I can't say this would be one that I would perpetually go to, and see no other use case for this than kind of just lounging around the house. Next up, we have the ever so popular pop over hoodie from Abercrombie & Fitch. Priced at $70 but regularly on sale, this one is comprised of 70% cotton and 30% polyester, which yields a hoodie that feels like it's not made to last but is incredibly soft. The fabric is super flexible and is comprised of a super soft brushed fleece. It's very cozy, but unfortunately on the thinner side, which gives it a score of 2.5 out of 5 from me in terms of quality. I do wear a size medium in these hoodies, and it does produce a fit that is slightly oversized, moderately wide, and features a drop shoulder, and it's got a very nice cut all throughout. I'm a big fan of how this hoodie fits, which is why I give it a score of 3.75 out of 5. As it relates to aesthetic, this one does come in a ton of different colors, different washes, different prints even, and due to the fact that this is an option and it fits really nicely, I had to give it a good score of a 3.5 out of 5. Now, taking value into account, this one is moderately priced, being at $70. And when you consider how wearable these hoodies really are, you're going to get a ton of wear out of them. Though they kind of lack in quality, I couldn't dock this one too much, yielding a 3.5 value score. Add it all up, you get a total score of 3.2 for the Abercrombie & Fitch popover hoodie. This next one is from Nordstrom, their in-house brand, which is known as Brass Plum. The quality for this one does reflect the price because you get a brushed fleece that is comprised of 70% cotton and 30% polyester, and the overall feel is very comparable to that of the Poplin hoodie from Abercrombie & Fitch. actually just a little bit worse than that, which yields a score of 2.25 out of 5. It does fit wide and oversized and features a drop shoulder, very similar to that of Abercrombie & Fitch again. You guys already know I do like the fit of the Abercrombie hoodie, so for that reason, this one gets a 3.75 out of a possible 5 from me. In terms of aesthetic, this looks exactly like the Abercrombie & Fitch popover and comes in a myriad of nice colors. So again, another solid score of 3.75. And finally, as it pertains to value, being priced at just $49 for what effectively is an Abercrombie & Fitch dupe, 3.75 in terms of value, yielding an overall score of 3.2. As I've already mentioned, this hoodie is okay quality, but it looks fantastic. Like the Abercrombie & Fitch hoodie, I don't anticipate this one aging super well, simply due to the fact that this one is comprised of okay quality materials. But at the price point, if you're in a pickle, this is a solid hoodie. This next brand is no stranger to the channel. This is the Uniqlo C oversized hoodie, priced at $49. Now this might be a hot take, but the quality of this hoodie is not the best, and I say that well aware that a lot of you guys absolutely love the Uniqlo C set. It went absolutely viral, and for good measure, because it fits really well. More on that in a second. But as it relates to the quality of this hoodie, it's really not that good, being comprised of 67% polyester and 33% cotton, but it is very synthetic and provides minimal insulation, mainly due to the fact that it is predominantly polyester. For that reason, despite the pain it brings me, I can't give more than a 2 for the Uniqlo C oversized hoodie. With regard to fit, things do take a turn for the best because the fit is actually really nice, scoring a 3.5 out of 5. That said, if you go true to size, it'll produce a very cozy, very comfortable, oversized look. Moving on to aesthetic, it does come in some great colors. As I mentioned, it fits wonderfully, and despite the fabric not being too insulating, it looks very, very good. This is a very fashionist hoodie, so it gets a 4.5 out of 5 in terms of the score for aesthetic from me. Priced at $49, this is a solid value proposition, though it's not too insulating. This is a hoodie that you can go to look good. It's a very fashion-esque hoodie, not really so much emphasizing utility. For that reason, it gets a score of 2.75 for value, resulting in an overall and total score of 3.13 out of 5. As I mentioned, this is just a fashion hoodie, a hoodie that looks good, it's reliable, it fits nicely, but it's not necessarily going to keep you warm. It won't last too long, but while you have it, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna go to it because it looks so dang good. $49, this one is very solid. Now moving on to the opposite side of the spectrum, from an affordable $49 hoodie to a $198 hoodie. This one is from John Elliot, a longtime favorite brand of mine. They make fantastic basics. I'm a big fan, very good quality, and that is very much so the case here. This zip up is comprised of 100% brushed French terry, which is very breathable and feels super cozy. I will say it is on the lighter side, featuring a lower GSM, which makes it not the warmest. But again, GSM doesn't always mean quality, because the fabric here is very plush, yielding a score of 3.75 out of 5 for me. Moving on to fit, I love the proportions of the zip up. It's got a slight crop, it fits boxy and wide, and is overall pretty relaxed. Here I am wearing a size medium, and this thing just fits elite. I can tell with this tech pack it was very thoroughly thought out, as the sleeve length is virtually perfect. In terms of width, it's very, very nice as well. This thing just looks so great. For that reason, I have to give its fit the highest score thus far, a 4.5 out of 5 from me. When it comes to aesthetic, John Elliot absolutely smashed it out of the ballpark for this hoodie. I love the way the color rendered out for the zip up. And this is something that might go unappreciated time and time again, because literally everybody's doing like this vintage faded aesthetic, but there really is a formulation to it. A lot of brands are just spraying their stuff and it just looks really spotty, very aggressive looking. Nothing like this masterfully done John Elliot hoodie. The color, the fit, the hardware, it's all there. The custom hardware piece is not an easy thing to do. It's very expensive to do so. The MOQ for producing this custom zip up for my hoodie, it was $1,000. So for them to agree to make this custom mold for this piece, I know that they can definitely move those minimums, so there wasn't as much of a gamble, but I wanted to mention it because the heart behind producing this piece was definitely there. But this one definitely has to get a higher score than a 4 for aesthetic, a 4.25 out of 5. Now, as it relates to value, though this thing is elite through and through, at $198, it was over $220 after I purchased it, shipping and taxes. It's a lot to spend on a plain hoodie, and as good as this piece is, I can't justify giving it more than a 2.5 out of 5 solely because it is very expensive. With all metrics considered, the John Elliot hoodie gets an overall score of 3.75 out of 5. This one is very, very good as long as you can get over the price point. Next up is a brand that has been featured here on the channel, but not for a very, very long time. Since then, they've grown immensely in popularity, mainly due to the fact that they've done an excellent job absolutely crushing it on social media. This next one is known as the Elwood Core Oversized Brush Terry Hoodie, priced at $75. Now, I had very high expectations for this piece, but the quality didn't necessarily meet what I was expecting, as it is comprised of a brushed French terry material, but it is very, very light to the degree of it not being too warm. But what it lacks in warmth, it does make up for in breathability. This is a very cozy hoodie. The cotton is very soft, I will give it that. But based on just the overall hand feel, I don't know how this one will age over time. If you own this piece, I know a lot of you guys love this brand. Let me know how it's aged over time. I'd be interested in hearing. But for now, I will give it a quality score of 2 out of 5. Now, as it pertains to fit, Elwood absolutely knew their customer base and who they're serving, because this thing fits beautifully. It's boxy, cropped, pretty wide, and fits very nice. Here I have on a size medium, and I couldn't love it anymore. Now, as I've already mentioned, the cotton is on the looser side, which from a quality standpoint isn't the best thing ever. But with that to say, for fit, this is awesome because for the ribbing on the wrist as well as at the waistband, it is nice and loose, so you don't have to tuck it under, but rather you can just leave it be and it won't cinch at your t-shirt. And I think it is very, very complimentary to its overall fit. So while lacking structure, it does fit very nice. This one gets a very good fit score of 4 out of 5. The same theme rings true to aesthetic because this thing looks excellent, it fits excellent, the color is beautiful. This is another brand that absolutely executed a beautiful fade, and this piece will look fantastic either standing alone or layered with an overcoat or a jacket. So aesthetic, it gets a solid score of a 4 out of 5. And finally, as it relates to value, though this piece is totally wearable, one that I'd go to time and time again, priced at $75, it is a solid offering, but the score is somewhat tainted due to the fact that it does lack in quality and potentially longevity, which leads to an overall or total score of a 3.2 out of 5. This next brand, I know a lot of you guys are well aware of, because if you're like myself, then you are absolutely bombarded with ads from this company known as Cutz. And with such a massive marketing budget, I had very high expectations, which was absolutely not met. The quality of this thing is absolutely atrocious. This hoodie is comprised of 60% polyester, 35% cotton, and 5% spandex, producing 100% hot garbage. I know that sounds rough, but you guys, in terms of utility, I have no idea what the point of this hoodie is. So from a quality perspective, there is no way I can give this one anything higher than a 1 out of 5, which brings us over to fit. I'm going to give you the high marks first, because the intention was for this hoodie to kind of accentuate the arms to make you look a little bit buffer, so on and so forth, which will help prop up the score a little bit, because their intention was to produce a tighter fitting hoodie around the arms to kind of complement the body, so on and so forth. But to me, that is not how I like my hoodies, so the rest of it is pretty bad news. Here I am wearing a size medium, and I don't care for how this one fits. 2.5 out of 5. In terms of aesthetic, I'm not going to camp out here too long. It gets a 1 out of 5 for me. But moving on to overall value, guys, this piece is $118, which I find to be an absolutely egregious price point for a hoodie that is mostly and predominantly comprised of synthetic fibers. This produces an overall score of 1.6 out of 5. I'm not trying to hate on Cutz. I'm sure their shirts are fantastic. These next hoodies are from Summit UK, and if you have yet to hear about them, you guys are absolutely in for a treat. Based in the United Kingdom, Summit specializes in producing super high quality luxury blanks. I've been wearing them for years now, and the quality has never disappointed. These hoodies are comprised of a 500 GSM, loopback 100% cotton, loopback just being another word for French terry, producing a beautiful drape. The quality is so good. 500 GSM, I have to give this a 4.75 out of 5 for quality, making this the highest quality ranked hoodie thus far. As it pertains to fit, I did elect to go for a size medium. I find that it fits perfect. It's very nicely oversized, it's boxy, features a drop shoulder, and now that I come to think of it, I really can't say how this fit could be any better. I'm going to rank it really high, another 4.75 for fit. Now, on to aesthetic, it fits amazing. It comes in a myriad of different colors. You've got a myriad of different washes, which they do an excellent job at executing. This hoodie has to get at least a 4. I'm going to give it a 4.5. And finally, on to value. These hoodies are a little bit pricey, being at $175, making it the second most expensive hoodie in today's video. But I would be remiss not to mention that there are typically different coupon codes out there for up to 25% off, effectively making these hoodies right around $130, which in my opinion isn't bad at all for a 500 GSM French terry hoodie. When you take all these things into account for that price point, I can't complain. So I'm going to give this a high ranking of 4.5 out of 5 for value, giving this hoodie an overall score of almost perfection, 4.63 out of 5. These hoodies are just excellent. If you've never owned a Summit UK piece before, definitely give them a shot. They have my recommendation. And mind you, I'm absolutely not paid to say this whatsoever. At the end of the day, a good product is a good product. I personally can attest to how difficult it is to produce a hoodie this heavy in nature. 550 GSM is what mine is. These are 500, and to price engineer these to be at a price point of sub $200, you take things into account such as the details, the wash, the color, obviously getting them landed here to your respective country. It is a very difficult task. And now that I'm on like the production side of things, I gotta give this brand their flowers. This is no easy feat. This next hoodie is every bit as excellent, and some may call it even legendary. I had to reintroduce the Yeezy Gap Perfect hoodie, as these hoodies absolutely withstand the test of time. These things are amazing. And so here we have the Yeezy Gap, both Vision 2020 and Perfect hoodies, both of which are hallmark in the lure of all hoodies, being comprised of a fantastic double layer cotton. It is very, very heavy fabric and feels incredible to the touch. This ring spun cotton is super dense and is very heavy in weight. It features a ton of structure through its body as well as in the ribbing. In terms of quality, I have to give it a 4.75 out of 5. Quality wise, this thing is almost flawless. Now, in regard to fit, you have to understand that for the time, they were the only ones doing this because it was Kanye himself that designed the cut and fit of these hoodies. At the time, nobody was making hoodies that look and felt and fell like these to that detail. And so here Kanye was again trailblazing another avenue in streetwear and fashion, producing a hoodie that fits pretty boxy, pretty wide, a drop shoulder, this amazing cut working in tandem with thickness of the fabric and how it falls and how structured it is, producing a gorgeous fit. My only gripe for these hoodies is that they fit kind of small. I had to size up to a large to get my intended perfect fitting hoodie, but with sizing aside, this has to get a 4.75. These things are cut so gorgeously. I love how these hoodies fit. Moving on to the aesthetic score, for the aforementioned reasons, I have to give it a 4.75 out of 5. And finally, in regard to value, these hoodies being what they are, being designed by who they were designed by, featuring the namesake of who they were designed by, and considering how insanely good the quality is and how it fits, it was priced at 90 bucks. Like I said, Kanye was absolutely trailblazing this hoodie space, so value-wise, another 4.75, leading to an overall score of a 4.75 for the Yeezy Gap Perfect hoodie slash the 2020 Vision hoodie. Now, staying on the topic of Gap hoodies, if you guys follow my channel, then you're well aware of this rebranding that they're doing. If you're not, go ahead and check out my previous videos where I do clothing hauls of some of the new stuff. They continued on the path that Kanye had laid out for them a few years back and are now producing some premium quality hoodies. This is what is known as the oversized heavyweight hoodie from Gap that retails for $79. The quality of this hoodie is pretty solid, I have to say, but giving it the name the heavyweight hoodie is, in my opinion, a bit of an overstatement. Now, it's not to say that it's bad by any stretch, because it's actually quite good, but considering the gaping hole that was left behind by Kanye, it is comprised of a solid brushed French terry 100% cotton, and like I said, it's not bad, it's just not anything special, giving it a score of a 3 out of 5. It does fit oversized and wide and is very cozy, giving it a fit score of a 3.5 out of 5. In terms of aesthetic, it does come in a multitude of different colors that look very nice, and as I mentioned, it fits very good, so it does get an aesthetic score of 4 out of 5. Now, as it pertains to value, this might be a bit of a hot take and it might upset a few guys out there. I'm giving it a value score of 2.5 out of 5, but let me explain. Being priced at $79, approximately $10 away from its predecessor, that being the Yeezy Perfect hoodie, the price point being so close to that one, but the quality and the fit and all that stuff being so much further away in terms of spread, I feel like that has to taint the overall score in terms of value. So for that reason, 2.5 out of 5 for a total score of 3.25. 3.25 is still a very solid hoodie score. It was brought down by the Yeezy hoodie, but is actually also hurt by this next Gap hoodie, which in my opinion is the only hoodie that deserves to stake the claim of the hoodie that takes a place of the perfect Yeezy hoodie. This is what is known as the extra heavyweight hoodie from Gap. Now, I don't know the full story behind this one, but allegedly it is in collaboration with somebody from TikTok. If that's the case, she absolutely cooked on this hoodie because it is phenomenal. The quality is a super dense and heavyweight cotton, but unlike the Yeezy Gap Perfect hoodie, this is brushed French terry and it lives up to that extra heavyweight name. It's fantastic. Quality wise, it is absolutely fantastic. So for that reason, 4.5 out of 5. In regards to fit, it fits just like the previous hoodie, so I'm gonna keep it at 3.5. For the aesthetic of this hoodie, I have to give it another high score because not only is it fantastic quality heavyweight, giving it ample structure, it is given a beautiful wash process, which not only fades and gives the hoodie almost a vintage look, but it also adds to the overall hand feel. So with this hoodie, on the exterior, you're gonna have a little bit of rigidity, while on the inside, it is super soft because of the French terry. Just an overall very nicely executed blank hoodie with this one. 4.5 out of 5 for aesthetic. Now for overall value, this hoodie retails for $89. As you guys know, Gap regularly has different coupon codes and things of that nature, so you can actually get it for less. But even at the full retail price of $89, I cannot recommend this piece enough. It screams value. At that price point, I can't give it a lower score than a 4 out of 5, giving this hoodie an overall score of 4.38, which is among the very best hoodies in today's video. This next hoodie is from Madewell and is known as the Woodland Brush hoodie. Priced at $98, you get a hoodie that is comprised of 85% cotton and 15% polyester, but surprisingly enough, this hoodie doesn't feel too synthetic. Both sides of this hoodie are brushed and feature a really nice wash, producing excellent hand feel. I will say, however, this hoodie is pretty thin in nature, resulting in a hoodie that doesn't keep you too warm. So I gotta give this hoodie for quality a 3 out of 5 score. Now moving on to fit, Madewell does specify that the angle was to go ahead and produce a 90s vintage kind of aesthetic, think Russell, and I think they did a fantastic job. Here I am wearing a size medium, and it does fit with a solid amount of width. I like the length of it as well. It has a slight taper down to the waist and features a drop shoulder. 3.5 out of 5 score for fit. Now in terms of aesthetic, I love the hand feel, I love the look, I love the wash, I love the color, and and of course the fit looks very nice, so a 3.5 out of 5 feels sufficient. Now in terms of value, while it does look very good, it fits very nicely, it's got nice hand feel, I can't get over the fact that this hoodie doesn't keep me warm, and at its very nature, that is the job of a hoodie, to keep you warm. So for that reason, I had to dock it a little bit for the value segment, 2.5 out of 5 for value, giving the Madewell hoodie an overall score of 3.13. Next, we have the most expensive hoodie of the bunch. This one is from ACNE Studios and retails for $580. It is comprised of a fleece cotton blend, which does sound good in theory until you find out what that blend actually entails. 11% recycled polyester and 89% organic cotton, which is sprayed with a potassium spray for additional softness and that fade. And to be honest, this hoodie is pretty thin. I give it a score of 3.75 out of 5 for quality. I did elect to go for a size small, and I do find that it fits very oversized, very wide, and I absolutely love how it fits through and through. 4.75 out of 5. Aesthetically, this is a gorgeous hoodie featuring a potassium spray. It fits really nice. It's got a beautiful fade, hand feel, it falls gorgeously, and of course you have the nice detail of the hidden pockets down the side seams. Aesthetically, this thing is gorgeous. 4.5 out of 5. Now in terms of value, $580 for this hoodie. This is wildly overpriced, and truly there's nothing wrong with this hoodie apart from the fact that it is on the thinner side, so it's not too warm, but everything else is virtually perfect. But at $580, I cannot give this a high value score. In fact, it gets the contrary for value. It gets a 1 out of a possible 5 points for me. This brings this hoodie's total score to a 3.5 out of 5. I know I was a little bit rough with regard to the price point, but at $580, I know you're paying for ACNE, you're getting the name, you're getting a little bit of like that clout, the trendiness, and so on and so forth. And truth is, I love ACNE. I own a ton of different stuff from ACNE Studios. It's just way overpriced. Next, we have a community favorite. This is the mnml everyday hoodie, which is priced at $52. Made from a 360 GSM brush fleece soft fabric, it features nice insulation, but is thinner than I'd like, so this one gets a score of 3 out of 5. In terms of fit, it does feature an oversized overall aesthetic. Very cozy, many will appreciate this, as this is kind of like the universal style of oversized hoodie. 3.5 out of 5 for me. In terms of aesthetic, this hoodie does come in a myriad of different washes, different fades, different colors, so on and so forth. And as I mentioned, it does fit very well. 3.5 score for aesthetic. Finally, at $52, it is pretty lightweight, but overall super serviceable. You can wear it standing alone or as a nice layering piece. I gotta give this one an overall value score of 3.5, giving this hoodie a total score of 3.38 out of a possible 5. Now for just $6 more, you can get your hands on mnml's newest offering to the everyday collection and bump up that aforementioned 330 GSM to 450 GSM. It fits very similar to the aforementioned hoodie, but does feature a raglan design. For that reason, I will bump the score up from the previous hoodie from a 3 to a 3.5. It's cut to fit just like the previous hoodie, so for that reason, I'm gonna score it the same, 3.5 out of 5. Aesthetically, this is where the hoodie kind of sets itself apart from the standard mnml hoodie, because not just 450 GSM, you're also getting a hoodie that features beautiful washing with tons of other color options. So you have here a beautiful looking, beautiful feeling, and beautiful fitting hoodie. Aesthetically, it has to get a 4 out of 5 for me. If you guys are familiar with LA apparel hoodies, I would say these are very comparable. Value-wise, at just $6 more than the previous hoodie, this one's a no-brainer. This is effectively getting you an LA apparel hoodie for like half the price. This has to yield at least a 4 out of 5 score for value, producing a grand total score of 3.75. This next company is known as AKIMBO, and I'm going to be fully transparent with you. I definitely wrestled with the idea of featuring them on my channel. I know many of you guys are familiar with AKIMBO. If you're not, then just know they make fantastic hoodies that kind of replicate that of like vintage Russell hoodies, which are known as some of the best in the industry. With that to say, they do have a bit of a looming cloud, that being a very, very bad reputation, from terrible customer service to slow delivery times, like really slow, to orders not being fulfilled. It's all over Reddit. You can read about it. And so for that reason, I wasn't sure to feature them in today's video. I ultimately decided to go ahead and do so because it would be a disservice not to mention them, because like I said, the hoodies are awesome, but I would only do it if I did also let you know about this kind of looming cloud or the rumors going around them. And actually, as a matter of fact, those rumors came out to be true for my personal buying experience, because it took weeks for them to actually just respond. They would ghost me perpetually via email. I would be left hanging for a really good amount of time between emails. It was pretty annoying. And it was only after I DM'd them from my Instagram account, which has a solid amount of following, that they actually got my order sent. And even at that point, it still took about 2 weeks, but at least I was getting a response. So I just want to put that straight out and forward for you. I was treated like crap for a good amount of time up until I DM'd them from my Instagram account. But now, with all of that context in plain sight for you to make the decision that's best for you, let's talk about their products. These hoodies are comprised of a 100% cotton French terry material. It is brushed, so it's super soft, and features some really nice structure due to the fact that it is a nice weight. So for quality, I have to give it a 4 out of 5. These hoodies fit awesome. I did elect to go with a size medium, my true to size, and it fits just like what I would compare to be a vintage Russell made in Mexico, size large, and it fits awesome. Like, these hoodies are so good. Another 4 out of 5 score. Aesthetically, like I mentioned, it fits awesome. They come in so many colors, so many patterns with really, really nice rendered color schemes. Some of them have excellent fades to them, and they even have different patterns. So they have a little bit of everything in terms of variety. Like I said, their whole bread and butter is to emulate vintage Russell hoodies. 4.5 out of 5. These hoodies look very, very good. From a value standpoint, being priced at $150, these are going to be amongst the most expensive of today's video. But when you take into account the fit, the quality, the different colors that they offer, I can't knock them too much. I'll give them just a solid normal score of a 3 out of 5. This gives AKIMBO an overall score of a 4 out of a possible 5, ranking them among the best. Like I said, please proceed with caution. I don't want to lead you guys astray. Next up, we have a hoodie from Alpha Industries, which comes in at a retail price of $80. It is comprised of 80% cotton and 20% polyester. And overall, it feels pretty soft, but unfortunately very, very thin. For that reason, it has to have a score of 2 out of a possible 5. I did elect to go for a size medium, and I do find that it does fit pretty snug, but still much better than the one from Cutz. 2.5 out of 5 for fit. Aesthetically, though the quality isn't necessarily there, you can't really tell unless you feel it, but overall it does look okay, so I'm giving it a score of 2 out of 5 for aesthetic. At $80, this is far too much to pay for this hoodie. I love the brand Alpha Industries, I love their bombers, but this hoodie is just not it. For $80, I have to give it a score of a 2 for value. The Alpha Industries hoodie gets an overall score of 2.15 out of a possible 5. And now moving on to the last hoodie of today's video. I had to save the best for last, and it just wouldn't be a full Locust&WildHoney video without mentioning Fear of God. Now, there was a bit of a price jump for the Essentials hoodie, but for good reason, because the quality has increased pretty substantially. Being comprised of a super soft brush fleece with a fantastic weight, these new Fear of God hoodies easily get a 4 out of possible 5 score for me. They have improved the fit of these hoodies, featuring a bit of a crop and making them slightly wider, but you still get that great drop shoulder. Essentials has been known for doing it right time and time again in the hoodie and sweatsuit game. This gets another 4 for fit. Aesthetically, there is a myriad of different colors, different washes, different treatments, and of course different logo designs. That all in tandem with the fact that these fit awesome, I gotta give it another 4. Now, at that price point of $120, and you consider everything that you get from the Essentials hoodies, the great quality, the great fit, the different colors, the great washes, and of course the different logo designs, at $120, I think this is a solid value. This one gets a 3 for value. This gives the Fear of God Essentials hoodie a total score of 3.75, putting it in the upper middle echelon of all hoodies, which in my opinion is right where it belongs. But as I mentioned, that is going to do it for today's video. If I left any brands out, please let them be known in the comment section down below. I might go ahead and do a third segment if I can find enough competitors. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I really do have a lot of fun doing this style of like ranking video. But yes, as I mentioned, go ahead and hit the links down below to my clothing brand, LWH Clothing, as well as my watch company, or a watch. As always, I gotta let you guys know it is a major privilege of mine to get to serve you through making content. So thank you for the support, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace and be blessed.